Hailing from a small village, a 23-year-old cheerful girl who addresses Delhi NCR as Pardees joined her husband hoping to make enough money to pay off their debts. She dreams of opening her own parlor back in the village someday. Her honesty and simplicity reminds me of the yesteryears. She speaks of her village and her friends very often. I am astonished by the sheer amount of a certain innocence this girl brings, and I sincerely hope the innocence stays. I was looking for someone who could stay at my place for a couple of hours and help me with the daily chores. It was a chance encounter that I came across this happy soul as she instantly agreed to work unfettered by my barking monster. I couldn't be more grateful. The joy she brings with her and her village memories are add-ons that I deeply cherish. Of course, I have my share of tantrums, but she wins over everything with her sincerity and childlike demeanor. Like most of the migrants who come to these big cities absolutely unprepared, Kavita and Amit landed in Delhi with a handful of belongings and a bag full of dreams. They bought an old cycle with some money they managed to save. Amit, her husband, drops her to work every day. Before I move ahead, I would want to take a moment and appreciate the husband. She often tells me how he cooks dinner before coming to work if he is doing an evening shift. He works as a security guard in a neighboring housing society. The days when they do not have gas to cook and she skips her tiffin, he ensures he brings her food. Kavita is scared of crossing the busy road running opposite my housing society. Every evening he takes some time off, cycles all the way down to help her cross the road. Her life is a testimony to the fact that love, respect, and gender parity aren't an exclusive domain of a high society or the city dwellers. Her story is also a testament to the subtle but definite deceit we indulge in every single day. With winters approaching, they thought it would be wise to invest in a regular gas connection. However, unaware of the procedure, they asked around for an old cylinder, probably thinking buying a new one would cost them more. She was ecstatic when someone agreed to sell her this old cylinder for 2000 rupees. It was later that evening she told me how a woman residing in the same building sold the cylinder to her. I was a little too upset, and it was more than evident, thanks to my facial expressions. The next morning she looked a little worried. Upon asking, she literally burst out crying, stating they still needed money to buy a regulator, a pipe, and for refilling the cylinder. I asked her to go to this woman who made some easy money by conning this knave girl. Her polite request to at least give her the regulator fell upon deaf ears. Sensing she won't give her anything more, Kavita returned looking visibly disappointed. I gave her an earful and explained how important it is to be aware of different provisions and procedures. I asked her to apply for a new connection and return the piece of metal to the other woman and asked her for a refund. What she said next will haunt me for some time to come. रहने दो दीदी, हमें शर्म आती है. Auntie, आपको शर्म नहीं आई एक बार भी for what you did? I wish I could ask this lady the question. How do we even have the audacity to question the ethics of a politician, a businessman, or a Sarkari Babu when we are preparing the grounds for deceit? We have no rights and moral grounds to complain about the rising inflation when we find our own ingenious ways to rip the less privileged of whatever meager sum they manage to earn. Whoever said urbanization is an indicator of a civilized society might not be correct after all. Let it go, alls, you would say. I would say, go home and question your education. For education has been belittled to finding newer ways of conning. As I look at Kavita smiling up at me with a broom in her hand, someday I wish to be able to visit her parlor in the dusty and rustic by lanes of her beloved village.